Thank you so much for coming in. So another question we have about the process is, what does an estate plan cost? This is really going to differ from attorney to attorney. And it's one of those areas where you get what you pay for. I will be honest with you, when I was in law school, one of my professors who taught the estate planning classes that I took, he said there's two philosophies of thought. You either pay more now so that there's less to pay later, or you pay on the back end with a cheap roll up front, but then you go back and you pay that same attorney more for administration, trust administration, probate administration, or so forth. I tend to be more on the flip side because my goal is to keep you out of court and conflicts as much as possible. But you can do anything. You can do it online and pay $20 just like you do with your taxes. But you're going to get an estate plan that's only worth about that, okay? It may cause your family a lot of headache and heartache down the road. I did taxes for 15 years. I saw a lot of times where people would do their taxes on their own and they would answer a question honestly and truthfully, but they misinterpreted what the question actually meant. They would get a letter from the IRS later, and then a year or two later when they get that letter is when we're trying to resolve it. They're paying interest penalties, but they're the ones going through the mess. The difference with estate planning is you're probably not going to know there's an issue because you're going to be gone and it's your family. It's going to be left holding the bag, and a lot of your what you thought was an inheritance to your family may be going to court costs, attorney fees, and so forth to get those issues resolved. So you want to find an attorney that can draft you excellent documents, yes, that's in accordance with the state laws, says everything you want. It's a say, shows where your assets are going to go to your loved ones, under what circumstances, who's in charge. But you're also going to want to make sure that your attorney keeps in touch with you as life changes. Your life is going to change. The law is going to change. Your estate planning needs to stay up to date. This is not a one-time thing that you do, which is why we do complimentary free reviews every 3 years to ensure that your plan is exactly what needs to be done and it's up to date at all times. You know, whether you got married, whether you got divorced, whether your kids got married, whether your kids got divorced, whether they had children, there's a lot that you may want to change according to that. You know, I also recommend that you find an attorney who quotes on a flat fee basis rather than hourly. Because if it's hourly, you know the hourly rate, but you have no clue how much time may take place. And you really don't want to agree to an amount until you know what that amount is, right? So with a flat rate, we do everything flat rate in advance. It also makes sure that I know that you're going to call me if you have a question. You're not going to be afraid that you're going to get a $100 bill in the mail, okay? You know, our will plan starts at $2,000. Our trust plan starts at $4,000. If you're thinking about those fees and comparing them to other attorneys who might charge a lot less, I would encourage you really to try to compare apples to apples and make sure that the attorney who's charging less actually does everything that we do, or that an attorney who might charge more would do. That they're not just lowballing you now because they're going to make up the difference later during administration, okay? For example, for us, an estate plan is not just about the documents. They're not going to do you any good if you just stuff them away on a shelf or in a cabinet. No one knows they're there. No one knows that they exist. No one can act on your behalf when they need you to. It's about the legacy piece as well. It's about who you are as a parent, a person, your values, your insight, your stories. It's about your experiences that would be lost forever if you don't somehow capture them through video or a letter or having some conversations with your family. It's having someone that you can contact with questions that don't even have to do with your legal plan, but can get you in touch with other attorneys that may be able to help you with a certain legal issue. We incorporate all of that. We want to be what you consider your family doctor is when it comes to the law. So with your family doctor, if you're having, dizzy spells, if you're having chest pains, if you're having knee problems or hip problems, you tell your family doctor, and then they say, okay, well, you need to go see a cardiologist. You need to go see a orthopedic. Here's the name of a surgeon for your gallbladder. They're going to help guide you, but they're going to stay in touch with that other person as well so they know what's going on. And that's the same thing when it comes to this. I want to be the person you contact first, and then I can give you some referrals to other attorneys to help you. If you do have a personal injury and then you're going to get a settlement, may say, okay, maybe you want to put some of this money in a trust for your kids and protect it a little bit more, make it last a little bit more, and then I may give you the name of some financial advisors that may help you invest some of that money so that it can grow for you. I may put you in touch, with other people. So I want to be able to be that person for you, and that's more than just a $200 or $250 will that you see somebody doing, where they're just doing your documents, you're throwing it on a shelf, and they're not going to talk to you again until 20 years later when you decide you have to do something different. And those documents at that point are going to be worthless. So keep that in mind, and compare apples to apples when you're really making a decision as to what attorney to use. If you have any questions on that, you can feel free to reach out to me at ralstonlawestateplanning.com, and I can answer your questions for you. Thank you so much, and you have a great day.